Hello everyone and welcome back to Angie's Table. If you're like me, you love the incredible flavors of Korean food, but sometimes life just gets in the way. Work, family, endless to-do lists. Who has hours to spend in the kitchen after a full day of work? Well, guess what? You don't have to. This week, I'm gonna take you guys on a journey through my real life kitchen. I have two kitchens. Just kidding. Kidding, but not kidding. So this right here is my actual kitchen in my home, but I also spend half my time at my sister's house, probably more than half my time at my sister's house in her kitchen. And we do a lot of family meals together. Ella loves eating with the family. And since we're eating healthier and my sister doesn't love to cook, I do a lot of the cooking. I feel like we save money by splitting groceries like that and just eating together. So we're all eating more healthy. I'm doing the cooking that I like to do. My sister gets to do some more house stuff and we get to eat as a family as well. Even though I don't work, I have a million things to do. I feel like I have a lot more things to do than when I was working. Just because I stay home doesn't mean I'm not busy. I have so much to do, but even on the busiest days, I try to do a lot of cooking. So I'm gonna show you how I whip up delicious, authentic Korean meals, even on the busiest of days. We're talking easy, time-saving recipes, and I also want to show you guys all my hacks that I do to really speed things up and save time in the kitchen. So this video will consist of me doing a little bit of talking where I talk to you guys about my tips and hacks and all of that while I introduce you guys to some of the foods that I cook throughout the week. So let's get started. Let me get a sip of my coffee. Yes, I have my mic on my coffee. Every time I go to Starbucks, they never have the short straws. They're always like, oh, we're out of it. I don't know what the deal is. So I just put it on here. Okay, so my first tip, the foundation. I believe that a secret to easy Korean cooking, or any cooking really, starts before you even turn on the stove. It's all about smart prep and a well-stocked pantry or your fridge, or even your freezer, but we'll get to that. So hack number one, something that I always have in my kitchen is a batch of fresh or even frozen aromatics. Like I'm talking ginger, I'm talking garlic, I'm talking green onion. I always make sure I have a good amount of gochugaru, sesame oil, all of that. I've shown you guys on one of my short form videos how I pack my garlic. So obviously fresh garlic will taste better, but it's not, I don't know what it is. I just hate mincing up garlic. So I always have a lot of it in my freezer, but the times where I am making a new batch of frozen garlic, like I have in my freezer right now, I always make a batch of it and I have a small Tupperware of it in my fridge for just fresh ones because I do think fresh ones taste better, but honestly, frozen will do. I add it to all my soups, all my pastas, all of that, and it's amazing. Also, chopping up those small things sometimes takes forever, and it's one of the things where I'm like, ugh, I have to chop up my green onions, like, ugh, I have to chop up my ginger or my garlic or anything like that. So it's good to just have on hand, whether it's in your fridge or your freezer. But if you spend like 15 minutes on a Sunday before your week starts and you can just buy small bags of it. I know they sell it at the Korean grocery store, like small bags of garlic, or get one ginger and peel it and just kind of prep it on Sunday for the week. And I think that will help you save a lot of time. And hack number two, so I really think that the freezer is your best friend. I freeze everything, whether I'm talking about like the aromatics that I talked about, the ginger and garlic and green onions, or if it's about freezer meals. Because if you guys have seen one of my more viral videos on Instagram and TikTok is my frozen rice and how that decreases your glucose. Now, I haven't checked this myself. I should really check it, maybe on my dad because he's a diabetic. I heard that it does decrease the spike in sugars as opposed to eating fresh rice that's freshly cooked. So I started doing that, but then I started freezing it because the rice cooker that my grandma gifted me was a 12 serving one. It's huge. It's over there. I never take it out. So I just always make stovetop rice and I freeze it because I felt like, to me, frozen rice tastes very similar to fresh rice. So I don't want to make rice for my husband and I all the time. So I started freezing my rice. Also, I'm not home all the time, so it was just easier for my husband to take out like a block of frozen rice and just cook it with whatever he's eating for lunch that day. But yeah, freezing rice has saved me so much time because Whether you're using the rice cooker to cook rice or your stovetop to cook rice, it's a hassle in my opinion. So I always make a big batch every like 2-3 weeks because we don't eat rice that often. I'll make like 6 cups of rice about every 3 weeks and I'll just go ahead and freeze it. And it just makes my time in the kitchen so much easier because then all I have to make is that one main dish or some banchan and we just heat up rice and that's it. While we move on to my first recipe that I'm going to show you, which is soba. I actually forgot to film my sister making soba. I do have this video out on YouTube. I'll link it down below, or you can click the link up here of the soba sauce that I make, or mensuyu. It's super easy and it's like one of my family's favorite summer recipes. This is a really good hack for you guys to have in your freezer so that all you need to do on days where you're like, I don't know what to make, you just have to boil some noodles and add this soba sauce on top and you're set. We always make a big batch and freeze it. In the summertime, we are out a lot more often. Grace and I were doing things with Ella, or we're just out shopping or at the pool or anything like that. So when we come home, we are just dreading making a meal for the whole family. So then we just go ahead and be like, okay, today's soba night. Also, did you know that soba has a good amount of protein? I mean, the carbs is crazy, but the protein count, I was a little shocked at. It's anywhere from like 12 to 15 depending on which brand you get. So it is a healthy amount of protein, which is why I do like soba over any other noodles. But anyways, if I make a big batch of fried rice like I am right now and I just freeze it for him, because he can just take a block of this out, make a fried egg, or we buy these like frozen tilapias at Costco that's like already breaded and crusted. So he just sticks that into the air fryer and makes a really simple meal for him. When we're lazy for dinner, that's what we do too. We just eat that tilapia and I'll just use that frozen rice that I have, or frozen fried rice, and it just makes everything easier. Okay, moving on to tip 3. 3 is banchan, or a big batch of whatever, whether it's curry or whether it's some type of soup, whatever it is, that will be your best friend. So when you think Korean food, you will probably think banchan. Banchan is a staple. It's kind of like when you go to a restaurant, when you go to American places or Italian restaurants, they give you bread. Korean places give you so much banchan and it comes at no cost. I think that's personally amazing. Like, you get a lot of nutritional values through banchan. So I never really understood the importance of banchan until Ella came into the picture, and for Grace, she just doesn't have all the time in the world. If she makes like 2 banchan on Sundays, it just makes her life a lot easier, because then she just has to make soup and rice and dinner is ready. Grace usually makes, whether it's miyeokguk or miyeokguk, which is seaweed soup, or sogogi mukguk, which is beef radish soup, and she does make curry often too. Every week she'll make like 1 soup, and it's not that they eat it every day, but like every other day or every 2-3 days, they will go ahead and eat that soup with banchan. Banchan doesn't last that long, so it'll be a good like Monday to Friday thing. I don't think banchan should be eaten past that. But today, for instance, today we are making miyeokguk, seaweed soup, and I'm making braised tofu. Grace had made this mayakkeran. Okay, actually I made it. Mayakkeran, which is drug eggs. They call it drug eggs not because there's actual drugs in it, but because it's that good. This recipe is something that I also made on Angie's table. And it's something so simple that you can just keep in your fridge and eat throughout the week because it's so savory and another value, a lot of protein. And it's a perfect summertime banchan. But she makes this miyeokguk and she'll probably eat it about like 2 times in the week. But last week, for instance, she made some 콩나물 banchan, which is bean sprouts, and kimchi banchan, spinach. So she kept that in her fridge, and kimchi is something that we always have. So with those things and some kim, or you know, the roasted seaweed snacks, and I think that's why Koreans have banchan, because all they need to do then is make a soup or some main dish, and you don't have to worry about the rest. Number 4 is a recipe, and I think it's like one of the best recipes to just throw in all your leftovers and get it over. So this is on a Friday. We just threw in all the leftover veggies that we had and made budae-jjigae. Something else that I do, not budae-jjigae, something else that I do to get rid of leftovers is I make my own like stovetop shabu-shabu. You need to figure out a way to utilize all your leftovers so you're not wasting anything, because personally for me, I think it's such a waste of money if I buy something and I throw it out. So I really try to utilize a way to reuse ingredients so I don't waste it in that week. So for me, with leftover Korean food or Korean ingredients, shabu shabu is like the best hack that I have. Grace really likes to do budae-jjigae. And I recently saw this episode on I Live Alone or Naunde Santa, which is a Korean reality program about singles and how they live their life. I thought this was really smart. There were these three... Sorry, they're cutting grass outside. There are these three people and they went on a trip, and he always makes budae-jjigae using the ingredients of whatever city or town or country that he's visiting. Like for instance, they were in Turkey for this episode and they used Turkish ingredients like their Turkish sausage and Turkish sauces to create budae-jjigae, and I thought that was really smart. But budae-jjigae is something where you just throw everything in, and as long as you have sausage and kimchi and like a main like spicy sauce, then you're kind of set, and it doesn't matter what you throw in there. You can throw any veggie that you want in there. You can throw beans in there. You can honestly throw whatever you want in there, and it makes a really easy meal. This is especially perfect for cold weather times to save time. It's just on a Friday, throw all your leftovers in, and whether it's making a soup or stew or either of these two things that I mentioned, throwing everything in to create a meal is a hack for me in my kitchen. And there you have it. All the hacks and some easy recipes to conquer your week, even on the busiest of nights. I really think that eating healthy, nutritious, and flavorful isn't like a monumental task, but I completely understand why it could be. Making food and creating content on this is my job, so it feels easier. I also want to show you guys that it's not something that is impossible. Whenever I read ingredients and things like that, I'm always like, oh my gosh, these foods aren't healthy, and the best way that you can protect your health from pesticides and, you know, all these things, hormonal stuff that they're adding into our foods, is for you to create foods, is for you to make your own food yourself, because you have to be in charge of what goes in your body. So hopefully with my hacks, like all the planning that you need to do and the hacks that I showed you guys and some easy recipes, it'll be a lot easier for you guys to eat at home and cook for your family and for yourself. I hope that the tips that I shared with you inspired you guys to try some of the recipes that I introduced you guys to. And don't forget to also look back and see all the recipes that I have already on my channel in the past years, because there's a lot out there and I tried to simple it down and make it as simple as possible. But I want to know what some of your favorite hacks were, or if you guys have any hacks that you want to share with me or with any of us that are reading the comment section. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Angie's Table for more easy Korean recipes and cooking tips, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new video. Until next time.